have a packed house here. Dan Ficini, you brought some big people here today. How about that? Good to see you.
Good to see you, John. How you doing?
Good. Innovation DuPage. Remind people what it is that you all do out there in DuPage County.
We're a nonprofit organization as well, and we're a business incubator and accelerator.
And you help companies from the little seedling grow, or maybe they're already a plant and they want to be a big tree, and you help them all in those journeys.
Absolutely.
And how do you do that?
We connect them with a series of resources. So some people come in, like you're saying, that are just starting out, and we'll start connecting them with resources in order to get started. Or there's companies that come through our business accelerator program. They're already established, and then we kind of help them get to the next level.
It's a lot of people working together. I've been to your offices. I've been to your holiday party. I've seen the networking. And that's an important part of the equation. Renetta Gunn-Stevens, who has been on this program before, but just over the phone on a small business spotlight we did, over 2 years ago, Renetta. Back again, CEO of Sophisticated Press. Good to see you in person, Renetta. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you doing, John?
I'm doing good. Thanks. No one ever asks me how I'm doing. I appreciate that reciprocal relationship we have. Tell us a little bit about Sophisticated Press. You started just a year or two before the pandemic, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2018, I started Sophisticated Press to help CEOs around the world tell their story through a book while empowering their niche.
Why should CEOs have a book? Why is that important?
Oh, I love that question, John. Every business should have a book, and every book is a business. And so when a CEO have a book, it actually helps them to clone themselves, and it frees up their time to continue growing their business, and they don't have to keep repeating themselves because they put their expertise in a book.
Clone themselves.
Yes.
I like that, so that they can not have to tell their story every single person. They say, here's my book.
Yes.
That's awesome. And I think there is something about the physical manifestation of holding something with someone's either picture on the book or the company story. It adds a little legitimacy to the operation. Don't you think so?
Absolutely. If you think about the word authority, the key word is author and authority. And so when a CEO publish their books, it just adds more credibility to the data that they have inside and the expertise that they are representing.
So what do you do at your company that's different than other publishing companies?
I love that question. What we do is we really make the client feel like they are not just an email and just an invoice.
The client meaning the author.
Yes, the author. You want to make sure that you feel passionate about their story, feel passionate about their journey of just really being successful as an author. And so at Sophisticated Press, we really makes it an intimate setting where we get to know them, we get to know their family, and we just make them feel like their story really matters.
And how it's a self-publishing journey, right? Sort of? Is it a partnership with you? What is that? How do you describe it?
Yeah, it is self-publishing. It's more hybrid, too, because we also provide like the coaching and the mentorship and marketplace strategies. So we definitely love promoting and advocating self-publishing because it really breaks down to ownership of your story and of your legacy. And so going back to the book business, it's $100 billion industry. So we want authors and CEOs to have a piece of the pie of that industry.
What has been working with Innovation DuPage been like for you?
Oh, it has been amazing and elevating. Going through that owner to CEO program has really developed my leadership skills, and it has positioned Sophisticated Press to serve at a higher level. We were doing good, but owner to CEO program is helping us to be great. And that's that difference of just having the proper financing discipline, the proper resources and tools and systems, and also the community. I was a first-time entrepreneur in my family, and so I needed to be around like-minded individuals. And Dan and Joe Cassidy really has created something special at Innovation DuPage, and it has really been life-changing for me.
You've got an incredible client author here with us right now. I don't know if it was even fair of me to have a 5-time NBA champion just sitting there listening to everybody else. Bill Cartwright, I hope I didn't offend you, my friend. You're a legend. How are you doing today?
No, I don't think you offend people. I think that people are kind of drawn towards you and pretty amazed.
Oh, well, that's very kind of you to say, sir. So you wrote a book, Living Life at the Center. Before we take this break, we're going to dive in deeper afterwards. What's it been like working with Sophisticated Press and Renetta?
Sophisticated Press has been great, and for all the things that she just talked about, is that you have alternatives, plans. If I'm talking about what's the cover going to look like, she'll give you about 15 different examples and what the name of the book should be. So it's been just great working with her. She's been outstanding.
Yeah, that's wonderful to hear. Renetta, I'm sure that makes you very proud. I'm proud of you as someone who's come on the show 2 years ago to see your growth. And Dan, I know you're proud of the whole team here. We got to take a pause in this. We're going to talk more about the book. We'll get a little bit more about Innovation DuPage and Renetta and Sophisticated Press as well. Okay, I got Bill Cartwright in the house, a legend. Grew up watching you, Bill. Was so thrilled by the first 3 championships you helped bring to Chicago. Then you coached for a couple years for another couple championships. How are you doing these days? Everything good in your world?
Everything's great. Everything is, of course, right where it should be. That's why I'm here.
That's why you're here. You wrote a book called Living Life at the Center.
There we go.
I got it. Don't you worry, my friend. I'm sure a bunch of people have told you over the years, you got to write a book. You got so many stories. And people say that to a lot of people. But what made you actually go, okay, yeah, I should actually do this?
Well, it's something that I had been thinking about for a while. And this book is more about my family, mom and dad growing up, because I've always felt that they were really visionary. My dad's from Texas. My mom's from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And you ask all these questions, and you think you know your parents and your relatives and how they got to where they got to, but you really don't know. But so it's about that journey, how they ended up in California, how my dad became the person that he was. He was so innovative, self-made guy, just like mom. 6 kids. I have 6 sisters, so I've been tested. So why we lived the way we lived. We lived on the bean ranch. My dad was a farm laborer. And just that journey to start out, lessons learned going through school. You definitely know teamwork. We had to work on that ranch. You knew hard work, which has really carried me throughout the course of my life, especially sports-wise. You knew possibilities, having a great high school coach with Dan Risley, that you're going to work your butt off, work as hard as you can. That's why little Elk Grove High School ended up being undefeated my junior year. And then when I was a senior, we won Northern California championships. And then now I go to the University of San Francisco. As you see, I'm a trailblazer. That's why I published my book. Mm-hmm. USF, we're the number 1 team in the country. When I was my sophomore year, we won our conference pretty much every year, well, except for our first year. Once again, a guy from Elk Grove High School plays for the Knicks. Yep. Then now he's in Chicago. My last year was in Seattle. And then because of Jerry Krause, I ended up full circle going back and coaching. Ended up coaching as long as I played, 16 years. So it's just a real journey of all those different circumstances that happen.
You mentioned finding out or kind of discovering that your parents were visionaries. That's a real personal journey to go through. When did you get to that realization? Because when you're a kid of your parents, they're just your mom and dad, right? When did you take a step back and go, my goodness, they set me up for a path of huge success?
Well, my dad was the hero of our family because he did everything. He fixed everything. Now that fan may go backwards, but it's going to work.
It sounds familiar with my dad. Okay, keep going.
This guy's working 10, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And you just take on his personality and just knew that he was a real worker and he was a real go-get-'em kind of guy, along with being probably the most positive guy on the planet. And then now, as you get older, you knew his background. You knew, he grew up at Jim Crow law back in Texas. So he wanted to get away from that. He wanted to have his own house. He wanted to own his own land. So this guy is pretty amazing, and a lot of courage that it took just to hop on a train and change your whole life. So that's the kind of parents that we had. And like I said, 6 kids, 2-bedroom house growing up. You better get along.
Yeah, right. Have you taken a lot of those lessons and applied that to your own journey as a father, too?
Yeah, just with my kids, just to stay balanced. It's a little tricky because being a sports guy, I wanted to treat my kids the way my parents treated us. Every time my kids played a sport, I never said much.
Yeah.
at all unless they asked for them, which of course they never did. But, but if you did have some words to put out there, make sure it's positive. The same thing my dad would say. My dad just gave us a lot of direction. And my mom, too, as far as just taking care of. I can remember being in high school, and I got in a fight in high school, and I was fine. I was a big kid. So my mom went in there, and I'll tell you what, she chewed out that principal. So we were well protected,
Yeah.
Mom and Dad. So we knew that we were protected. And it gave us a great example of what a parent should be, to demand that you work hard, extraordinarily hard, do the right thing, and everything's going to work out fine.
I love that. I'm learning a lot about you, and I love that family connection, and you can see what drives you forward. I got to ask one basketball question before. I have Bill Cartwright here, for God's sakes. Was it more fun and rewarding to win a championship as a player or as a coach?
A player.
Yeah.
Definitely, for sure, because you get an opportunity to participate, you get an opportunity to make your mark. Everybody talks about their championship that they won, but it took me 12 years to win my championship, so mine was well-deserved. And definitely appreciated. So,
well, there's lessons there too, right? Success doesn't come immediately for everybody.
Success with the Knicks was a great test. The Knicks played for them, even though I really enjoyed it. I had great coaches there: Brett Holzman, U.B. Brown. Great challenges. So here's a guy from Elk Grove again, and here's Dr. J on the floor. Here's Daryl Dawkins. Here's Kareem. So it's like, wow, look at these guys. And by the way, my first game I blocked Doc Shaw, and I was shocked.
You shocked yourself.
I did shock myself.
I love that.
But it was a special time playing for them. And you really, one thing New York's going to do, they're going to test your character. And I think more than anything, that carried over to my time here in Chicago, because nothing was going to bother me at all.
I got to read this book. As a soon-to-be father, I need to impart some of the lessons of your dad, maybe my dad too, and put them forward. It's inspiring stuff. Living life at the center. Bill, I wish we had more time. We don't. I guess I want to just make sure I say, Renetta, excuse me. This must be thrilling to hear Bill talking about this book and you getting to be a part of it.
Yes, it has been such a great experience, and it's a wonderful book. You have to read it.
Yeah. Dan, I love Innovation DuPage. Sorry we didn't get to talk much, buddy.
Oh, it's all right. No.
I'll give you more time next month.
No worries.
There we go. Bill, it was great to meet you, my friend.
John, thank you so much. Awesome job. And let's do it again.
I love that. Yeah, we should have him back on here again. More time. Devote a whole show to it. All right, that's going to do it for Your Money Matters here tonight. Oh, by the way, innovationdupage.org. Oh, and Bill or Renetta, whoever wants to answer this, where should people go to buy the book? Bill, they're pointing at each other. You guys aren't helping me. Bill-Cartwright.com, right?
Yes.
There we go. All right, let's take a break. News next from the Northwestern Medicine Newsroom on WGN.
That was funny.
Bill, I love that it's about your family.